Reddit, what misguided plain awful gifts have you bought for people or received? When I was a freshman in high school, my very conservative aunt bought me a backpack with a pretty leaf on it. I was also very sheltered, so I wore it for about a month until my friends told me it was a pot leaf. My super conservative aunt bought a help tote bag with a pot leaf pattern because she loves gardening. We made a family pact never to tell her. She still uses it for her knitting. Not sure if she really doesn't know what it is or if she's a very closeted pothead. My mom bought me all the unedited American Pie DVDs for Christmas one year because she liked the song and had no idea what the movies were about. We sat down to watch it together, and I was sweating bullets waiting for her reaction. Halfway through the movie she yelled at the TV, "What is this crap?" I picked up all the DVDs and ran from the room saying, "You bought them as a gift. Can't return them now." Dealt with that situation like a boss. I gave my brother a copy of Are You There God? It's Me Margaret for Christmas one year. In my defense, I hadn't read it, had no idea what it was actually about at the time, and it was in the Christian fiction section of the bookstore and he was, at the time, pretty religious, so in my little mind, I thought it'd be perfect for him. Plus, my mom was with me when I bought it, and she said nothing. A year or so later I finally learned what it was about, and the cold dread settled into my stomach. I had given my brother a book about a girl going through puberty. What the frick did I just do? Turns out, he quietly asked my mom to exchange it for another, more appropriate book, and it was never mentioned again. I feel your embarrassment, OP. Good guy brother, doesn't embarrass his little brother when he buys him a puberty book. My mom's aunt bought me a shirt with a Playboy bunny and colorful rhinestones on it for Christmas one year. I'm hoping she just thought it was cute and didn't know what it really was. When I was 7 years old, my mother gave me some money to buy a towel of my choice from the beach store. Of course, I just had to buy the one with the cute bunny wearing a bow tie. It's an honest mistake if you are not well versed on the pea industry. I bought my mom a book for Christmas. It was by an author I liked, and it was on sale, and for some reason I didn't even bother to read what it was about. Turns out it's about a woman who wanted to kill her bitchy mother. In college my wife bought her mother a book for Mother's Day without really looking at it or reading any of it. Shortly thereafter, Mom wants a serious sit-down talk. Well, turns out the book was about a young girl coming out to her mother. Lots of splaining ensued. On a scale of 1 to 10, how awkward is it going to be when she tells you it was the best gift she ever got and totally loves it? With a wink. When I was young, me and my dad were looking for a present for my mum. I knew that she mentioned that the vacuum cleaner was nearly broken, so I suggested we get her a new one. My dad gasped in horror before he started laughing. To be honest, it's annoying to keep a house filled. I really wish someone would just buy me the rice cooker that I want. Loosely related, though not exactly what you're looking for, the amount of parents who brought their young children to South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut and had to subsequently remove them from the theater was alarming. I got my mother the head crab head warmer from the Valve store. She's never worn it once and stuffed it in a closet. You can't even get them anymore. See? Go get IT. Those are rare. Jesus, dude. My dad bought me Ann Coulter's How to Talk to Liberals, If You Must, because he honestly believed the book was satire. When I explained that, no, Ann Coulter's just batshit insane, he felt really bad. My mother is the worst gift giver. She gives gifts with love in her heart, but totally misses the mark. Several years ago, I thought I had this beat. I informed her that I would like a square, wooden, dark wood bedside table with a drawer and a reading lamp. I cut out a picture of a similar one from an ad and gave it to her. Simple, very hard to screw up, right? Come Christmas morning, I unwrap this giant, round, glass top table. The base of this table is a giant, poly resin red, yellow, pink and purple dragon that is curled around a castle tower. The entire thing is covered in glitter. There is a glass orb cradled between the dragon's front feet, and I never in my adult life thought I'd use this phrase, but when you plug the table in, the glass orb lights up and changes color. I promptly named it the Vile Table of Extraordinary Tackiness, and it had a place of pride in my living room for a few years. Right now, it's still in its box in storage, but as soon as we have a game room again, it's on. I have to admit that I would actually love to have a table like that. Pictures, please. 'Twas the week before Christmas, and all through the town, not a sign of Game Boy Color was anywhere to be found. The mother was busy with Christmas time chores, then decided to call all the local stores. To cut a long story short, my mum is terrible with names, and ended up calling around all the local stores in town to see if they stocked Playboys, as her 8-year-old son had wanted one since his birthday. The store clerks did not once attempt to correct her. Then 3 days later she was shocked to find a Playboy magazine sitting on our front doorstep. Haha, my father and elder brother thought Christmas had come early for them. In the end I managed to get a Game Boy Color. But sadly, his Playboy Color never came, so neither did Winnie-Ma. My wife's uncle got me an extra large Aeropostale shirt and a bottle of Polo cologne for Christmas. I'm allergic to perfumes. I would never wear a pink Aeropostale shirt. He also forgot my name while insisting on making a speech at our wedding. Based on what you just told us, I don't think he actually forgot your name. Grandma, me and my brother know how much you love books that are popular, regardless of subject matter. So we bought you this very popular book that ranked high on the charts and about which we know nothing. We're sure you'll love it. It's the thought that counts, guys. Last Christmas, I was given the In-Betweeners movie on DVD by my parents, who then insisted we watched it on Christmas afternoon with my grandmother. I wanted the DVD. I did not want this situation to arise from it. My girlfriend and I got into Family Guy when it got popular. I bought Family Guy Presents Stewie Griffin, The Untold Story, and sat down to watch it with my girlfriend when I was visiting my mother. The movie opens with a Trisha Nakagawa character going all racially bonkers over someone or something. I think the scene ends with the anchor saying something like, "Thanks Trisha for setting your race back 50 years. My mother and I are Asian." I was well familiar with the bad taste jokes of Family Guy that make it so humorous, and I'm sure that the movie was funny. However, my mother had never seen Family Guy. That one scene out of context was just disgusting. I had to stop the movie. I don't know if I've ever insulted my mother worse than that. You have. The reporter's name is actually Trisha Takanoa. I'd be more appalled for buying a book written at her 8th grade reading level for my grandma. Shows how hard author tried with names like Catherine Kavanagh for Rich White Girl and Jose Rodriguez for Poor Hispanic in Friend Zone. I remember taking my whole conservative family to see Spaceballs. I look up the definition of burlesque. I had expected funny, clean, family-oriented comedy. Major facepalm. I used to love that movie when I was a kid. I didn't get a lot of the jokes, but I do remember my dad laughing one time at the "she's gone from suck to blow" part and saying they're the same thing. I didn't get that for years. LOL. My grandparents once got me a purse that was shaped like a pug. It was basically a stuffed pug with a zipper in the top and a handle attached to it. As a child I probably would have loved this. They got it for me when I was 15. I didn't say anything to indicate I didn't love it, not even to my parents later. I just never really used it except for the day that they bought it for me. The year after that they just gave up on trying to find gifts that I'd really like and just started giving me cash. When I was like 15, my grandmother gave me 2 records for my birthday, the Aristocats soundtrack and a Wayne Newton album. We were doing a Secret Santa gift exchange with a suggestion page where you could post hints about what your giver should get you. I wrote, "I'm starting up a diet on New Year's, so some tasty foodstuffs might be nice to have before then." I got a very nice donut making machine that I did not get a chance to use before New Year's. Troll successful. Whoa, I'm surprised that you even found it. Bookstores can't keep it on the shelves here. Let your grandmother read it. My stepdaughter was going off to camp one year, so I bought her a roll of stamps and some stationery and cardstock with a very tasteful black border on it. Later, when I told my ex about the stationery, I saw him wince. So I said, "Fine. How'd I screw up this time? Stationery with a black border is used when someone is in the morning." I don't believe those standards have applied since about the time we stopped using mainly horses and ox carts for vehicular travel. My grandfather gave me petite lingerie when I was 10. The whole family thought it was hysterical. However, this grandfather had been molesting me since I was 6. I knew he would pounce on me and was making a point to flaunt it in front of everyone. He always said no one would believe me or question him. He was right. When I tried to commit suicide the next year, my family didn't believe that was the reason. They thought I was just trying to get attention. Worst gift ever. I can't think of how a family would find that funny, even without knowing the real reason. Bought a parrot once from a kind, if twitchy, Englishman. Turns out the parrot, whom I even named Polly, turned out to be bereft of life. I had suspicions, but the shopkeeper insisted that the parrot was just resting, and I believed him and purchased it as a gift for my wife. Honey, I know you were not pleased with this gift. Forgive. This bird is no more. It has ceased to be. Back when I was young, around 10 if I remember correctly, I was going to a friend's birthday party sleepover and obviously needed a present to bring. So my mom goes and looks through some cabinets to see if we had any board games she had previously bought or was given that I could use. She happens upon Jenga and decides it would work as a gift for my friend, so she wrapped it up for me to bring over. Fast forward into the night and eventually we, a group of guys, because girls were gross, all get bored and we decide to break out Jenga. We start setting up the tower, or whatever you call it, and see that there are words written on the pieces. It turns out that this was adult Jenga. I remember there being phrases such as remove one article of clothing, lick the player next to you, sit on the lap of the person across from you, etc. So we tried to play it for a while. We would remove socks for clothes, I remember. Soon after we started playing we stopped though because we thought the commands were stupid and didn't realize what was going on. The next morning when my mom was driving me home she asked if we had played Jenga and I told her about what had occurred. She was obviously mortified as she had thought it was just regular old Jenga. TLDR. Accidentally played adult Jenga with friends when young. There is a marine lab in North Carolina. College students from all over go and study there, and they had a normal Jenga set with their own things written on it. When I was a junior in high school, I got to stay there for a few days and I found the set. On one of the Jenga pieces were the words "call this number, request anal," and the number on the piece is my sister's. I had to move back into my parents' house for a couple months when I was 24. As a thank you I got my parents a huge erotic gift set for her birthday. My friend is the general manager of an erotic gift store and we spent the better part of 2 hours looking at gift boxes trying to identify oil smells based off my childhood memories. We totally succeeded in finding the right oils and I ended up spending almost $150 on this bad boy. I figured at my newfound age of maturity and adulthood a gift like this was something one adult could give to another. Nope, I was very excited and gave my parents a huge wrapped box in private. My parents' eyes bugged out like I'd never seen before. My father whispered quietly, "You shouldn't have," I replied. No, you guys have helped me out letting me stay here and I appreciate it." My mom then goes ahead and scowls at me with a nervous twitch. "No Shlomo, you really shouldn't have. This is extremely inappropriate." I went from 100% pride to 100% red-faced embarrassment in a matter of seconds. The best part was my father. After I muttered, "Okay, sorry mom, I'll take it back and get you something else," my father grabs my arm from picking up the box and says, "Not so fast son. Your mother's just being a bit hasty. You did good boy. Leave the box." Wait, sniffing for oils you smelled during your childhood at an erotic gift store. My stepfather is from Sweden and sometimes still struggles with English. He went to Las Vegas on a business trip and brought home matching pink taco shirts for my sister and me. I didn't have the heart to tell him. Okay, well, this wasn't exactly a misguided gift. It was the thank you that was misguided. Anyway, when I was a young teen I got my grandfather an electric razor. He called me up one night after getting it to thank me for it and the conversation went something like, "Hi grandpa, did you get the shaver?" "Oh, yes, I did. Thank you. It's been very useful for more than just my beard." At this point I couldn't believe what I had just heard. There were a few stifled giggles in the background from my granny and I think my aunt. They were awfully giggly. To this day, I have no idea why I accepted that shaver back when he passed away, nor why the frick I ever used it to shave my own face. TLDR. Used my grandpa's pube shaver on my face. I got a former co-worker in the military an engraved whiskey flask for his going away party. Turns out he was being kicked out of the Marine Corps for alcoholism. More about what I say rather than what I buy. Example 1. We are all at dinner with my friends and his parents, mom and stepdad, for a birthday. Unbeknownst to me, his biological father hanged himself when he was a child. During the conversation I said something like, "I hit so much traffic on the way here I thought about just hanging myself." The table got quiet. I was confused until someone explained it. I once dated a guy whose brother killed himself by a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. I was talking to his mom about something non-related and said, "I feel like just shooting myself in the head right now." She started crying. I'm an idiot. Stop talking about harming yourself or you're gonna have an awkward time. If she didn't say anything to you about not liking it, go buy the next one in the series. Then go schedule a couple sessions of therapy for yourself. Most expensive birthday present ever once the therapy is paid for. For my niece's 12th birthday, her parents were getting her a very own laptop. My mother thought it'd be nice to give her something computer related, so she went to sort of a quirky design shop and asked if they had anything for a 12-year-old girl. She was being helped by an old lady who proposed a USB stick in the form of a dog. Little did they realize, either this or the lady was a real troll, that it was actually called Humping Dog. Hilarity ensued at the birthday party. TLDR. Mom unknowingly gave a Humping Dog USB stick to my niece. In 2nd or 3rd grade, our class went to a local low-rent nursing home. We put in money and bought our group's assigned gentleman a gift. The only thing the nursing home told us about him was that he was a huge Steelers fan, so we bought him Steelers-themed socks. We walk into the nursing home to find that the elderly gentleman we bought the socks for was a veteran, with no legs. When I was a child, I gave my grandma flowers, lots of flowers, that I brutally picked from her garden. I was so proud of myself I bragged to everyone about how Nana got so happy that she cried. I was dating an Islamic guy for about 5 years. 2 years into our relationship I bought him this little gargoyle statue, which for some reason is offensive to the culture. I actually don't know why, but in any case he was very offended that I would get that for him. I returned it. I got him a music box instead. Anyway, he was a great boyfriend and good person. He is happily married now, and I'm sure his wife has never bought him a gargoyle. My stepmother bought angsty, rancid listening, all black clothes wearing, 13-year-old me a puffy, bright pink parka with a pink faux fur lined hood and a giant Hello Kitty face embroidered on the back for Christmas. I didn't hide my airy alpha kinkading face very well. I keep seeing things about this book all over Reddit. I feel like they're trying to do some viral campaign, because I would have otherwise never heard of this book. Not exactly a gift situation, but my family got a VCR in 1981. I was 5 at the time. There were no video stores, so my parents decided to borrow a film from some friends and left me to watch it. They were sure it had to be a kid's film because of the title, Wind Up Orange. I still have some vague memories of what a minfuck it was for a 5-year-old to end up watching Clockwork Orange because the Greek translator got creative with the title. I bought my uncle a Thigh Master. What I didn't know, he just recently lost both his legs in a car crash. Needless to say, he now hates me. So my first husband thought it would be funny to give me a chinchilla pelt as an anniversary gift. At the time, I owned 2 chins, which I love to death. Needless to say, my first thought was that he'd skinned one of my chinnies, so I ran shrieking over to where their cages were. The rational me knew that there was no way he'd killed one of my chins. I'd just played with them earlier that morning, but the pelt sent me over the edge. With me in tears and hurling expletives at him, he figured out pretty quick that his joke wasn't going to get the big laugh that he was expecting. But he was an abusive bastard anyway, so I guess I shouldn't have been surprised by it. My grandma once got an Area 51 playset thing for my brother. Think Polly Pocket, but for boys. Wouldn't have been such a bad gift if he wasn't in his teens at the time if I recall correctly. Definitely older than the recommended age. Probably got it as came with a game on floppy, but the game thing wasn't really designed for people over the age of 10XD. When I was a kid, probably about 10, my sister and I asked our parents what they wanted for Christmas. This of course was still the age when buying a present for your parent was just picking out something that your other parent paid for. Well, my dad asked for underwear and my mom took my sister and I to a department store to pick some out. I'm not sure if that sounds like a strange thing to do, but my dad was always really specific about what he wanted for gifts, and it was always just something he needed at the time. Anyway, my sister and I picked out what we thought were some nice Christmas themed briefs and placed them under the tree. When my dad opened them and took them out of the package on Christmas morning, we realized that we had, in fact, bought my dad some very nice Christmas themed G-strings. 10-year-old me was incredibly embarrassed by this. I guess it's not horrific, but it still makes me laugh to this day. TLDR. Accidentally bought my dad a G-string for Christmas. Not a gift, but along the same lines. My grandma and my great aunt went to see Superba together because it was getting such good reviews. They had no idea what they were in for. I asked if they liked it and she burst out laughing and said I couldn't believe what those kids were saying. The mouths on those two. I've never heard anything so dirty in my whole life and kept laughing. My grams is cool. Bought my mother a Mother's Day card without really looking at it. Little did I know it was a surprise mom, your grandma card. I once received a grow your own pumpkin kit from my uncle. It included some soil that is optimum for pumpkin growth. However, the seeds were missing, so I just got a box that had dirt it. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.